Alright, boys and girls, today's lesson is lesson 2-12, and today we are going to work on multiplying with multiples of 10. So the most important thing to know is your basic multiplication facts, which all of you are pretty good at it. So, at the beginning of page 137, it says multiply with multiples of 10. When a number of ones is multiplied by 10, the ones becomes tens. So 110 times 5 ones equals 5 tens. To multiply, so then equal 50. To multiply with multiples of 10, use place value and properties. And this is where it gets a little interesting, but understand that we're going by place value. So 2 times 3 is really 2 times 1 times 3 times 1, because it's the place value is the ones place. So 2 times its place value is a ones, and 3 times the place value of ones equals, and then we'll take the numbers 2 and 3 and multiply them by the other two numbers of 1 times 1 to get 6 times 1 equals 6. Sure, a lot of you are like, why am I doing that? I can just go 2 times 3 equals 6. Well, this is just how we're breaking it down so you can visualize it. Let's go to 2 times 30. You'll notice how this is different. 2 times 30, the 2 is actually 2 times 1, and the 30 is 3 times 10 because the place value is in the tens place. So if we take the original numbers of 2 and 3 to make it 2 times 3, and then we take the other two numbers of 1 and 10 and make it 1 times 10, we get 6 times 10, which equals 60. Okay? That's the long way. There are shortcuts. Shortcuts is what I know we've already been working on this year, so hopefully you can continue using the shortcut, or you use a shortcut all the time. But it says find the basic multiplication product, then multiply it by 10. A lot of times I say ignore the 0. I say cover, what's 2 times 3? Like 6. Okay, now put the 0 back on. Oh, 60. Okay, but this is 2 times 3, and notice that one of the numbers was in the tens place. So you owe a 10. You have to multiply it by a 10 somewhere. So you get 60. Okay, so for 1, 2, 3, and 4, the same type of thing. 6 times 4 is 24. You multiply that by 10, you get 240. Remember, anything you multiply by 10 just adds a 0 to it. Anything you multiply by 100 adds 2 zeros. 1,000 adds 3. 10,000 adds 4. And so on. Here, you get 4 times 5 is 20. Times 10 is 200. 7 times 8 is 56. Times 10 is 560. 9 times 3 is 27. Times 10 is 270. Okay, so hopefully we're understanding this. This is basic multiplication facts with zeros on them, pretty much. And we're only working with the tens now, and eventually you'll be working with hundreds and thousands. So on this page, it's the same type of thing. If 3 times 4 is 12, what would 3 times 40 be? Well, it would be that same 12, but then with a 0 on it. Number 7, 1 times 2 is 2. So what is 10 times 2? Well, it would be that same 2, but with a 0 on it. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 80 would be 72 with that 0 on it. And if this were 90 times 80, there'd be 2 zeros. If this were 90 times 800, it'd be 3 zeros. Okay, but it's not. We're not doing that. But eventually we will. So you have to count for all the zeros. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 with a 0 on it. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 with a 0 on it. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 with a 0 on it. Okay, because we're multiplying the same two original digits, but instead one of them is in the place value of a 10. So you have to make sure you put the 0 on because you're multiplying it by 10. 1 times 1 is 1. So what's 10 times 1 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6. So 20 times 3 is 6 with a 0, 60. Here's one. This is one that confuses people sometimes because 5 times 6 is 30. Notice this is already a 0 there. So when you do 5 times 60, it's 30 with another 0. Okay? You still have to count for that new 0 even though the product has a 0 on it. Okay, so I want you to work on the rest of the page. It might take you a few minutes. I want you to do the rest of this page and then unpause it, and I'm going to go over every answer with you. But at least attempt them. Alright, so hopefully you know 2 times 4 is 8, so 2 times 40 would be 80. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 30 would be 18 with a 0, 180. 9 times 2 is 18, so 9 times 20 with a 0, or 2 with a 0, would be 180. Okay, now here we are. We're not doing the basic multiplication fact at first, so you have to be able to do this yourself. 2 times 3 is 6. Put that 0 on. 5 times 4 is 20. Put that 0 on. 9 times 6 is 54. Put that 0 on. 3 times 8 is 24. There's the 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Add the 0. 5 times 9 is 45. Add the 0. So if this were 500, you'd have 9 times 5 is 45, and then you'd have 2 zeros that time. But we're not going to do that. It's only 1 0, so put the 1 0 on. 5 times 2 is 10, and then that 0 comes on. Don't just do the answer of 10. 3 times 3 is 9, and put the 0. 5 times 8 is 40, and then we'll put the 0. We get 81 with a 0, 30 with a 0, 35 with a 0, 40 with a 0, 24 with a 0. And the last thing they ask you is, describe how to multiply a one-digit number by a multiple of 10. Okay, well, one way to do that, pretty much the only way to do it, is you just grab the basic multiplication fact on it, and then you just add the 0. Pretty much what you've been doing on all this. So at this point, put your workbook pages away. I'm sorry, put these 2 pages away. Go back in anything in Unit 2 that you might not have finished, and work on that. And actually, what I want you to do, I want you to go ahead and start working on 139, 140, 141, and 142. Okay, it's for 213, but I want you to start knocking those all now, because those are just all basic facts of multiplication and division. So go ahead, from this point, I want you to complete 139 through, what did I say, 142. So I want you to work on that now.